People like you don't belong inside a courthouse. You belong in chains. Those words would come back to destroy Officer Daniels. That morning, Judge Naomi Carter wasn't in her robes. She was dressed like any other professional, plain. Clothes, a neat briefcase full of case files in hand. But to Daniels, she looked like an outsider trying to slip past security. Another nobody trying to sneak in. He sneered, blocking her path. Before she could respond, his palm cracked across her face, whipping her head to the side. Her briefcase flew open, papers scattering across the courthouse steps like confetti. Daniels seized her by the throat and slammed her against the stone wall. "You people belong behind bars, not in the halls of justice," he spat. Cold steel cuffs snapped around her wrists. Other officers laughed, some even filming as she was paraded like a criminal. Naomi's cheek throbbed, but her eyes lifted to the bronze plaque above the doors, Judge N. Carter presiding. Just feet from her own courtroom, she was treated as an intruder. Inside, Daniels straightened his uniform, his swagger returning. He'd done this before, spin a lie, flip the script, and let the badge protect him. "Your Honor," he told the substitute judge, his voice smooth. "While on duty, I confronted an erratic individual attempting to bypass security." He gestured toward Naomi, seated in cuffs at the defense table, her face bruised. She refused identification, had suspicious files, and grew hostile when questioned. "I restrained her using only the minimum force necessary." The stenographers. Keys clattered, preserving every lie. Another officer, Miller, took the stand to back him up. "Yes, I witnessed it." The defendant resisted. Officer Daniels was professional. Daniels smirked, his eyes flicking toward Naomi with arrogance. He thought he had her cornered, but when Naomi finally spoke, her voice was icy. "Officer Daniels, do you recall saying I was just another entitled activist looking for a payday? That I needed to learn actions have consequences?" The courtroom went silent. Daniels's throat bobbed nervously. Naomi reached under her bench, pulling out a tablet. "Let's see the evidence that's just come to light." She pressed play. Courthouse security footage appeared on screen, crystal clear. The gallery gasped. There was Naomi calmly approaching. There was Daniels, calling her a rat before slapping her, choking her, and cuffing her. His venomous words echoed through the speakers. "Filthy animals like you belong in cages." Jurors from other cases stood and walked out in disgust. "Officer Daniels," Naomi said, pausing the video, "do you see me using threats? Profanity? Any aggression at all?" He said nothing. His career was unraveling before his eyes. Now, Naomi continued, swiping to another file. "Let's examine your claim that your body cam malfunctioned." The screen lit up with fresh footage. Backup recordings automatically uploaded to the county cloud. Daniels's own voice snarled through the speakers. "Look at this uppity woman thinking she can just walk in here. Time to teach her a lesson." The prosecutor, Linda Graves, frantically shuffled her papers, trying to distance herself from the implosion. But Naomi wasn't done. "Officers Miller and Hayes," she called, "you testified under oath that Daniels acted with restraint. Would you like to correct those statements?" Both men shifted toward the exit. The video rolled again. Daniels slapping her, the chokehold, the cuffs, this time from his own body cam. "This," Naomi said, "is felony assault on a federal judge." The words crashed through the room like thunder. Daniels' knees buckled. "And here," Naomi added, cueing another file, "is audio from Officer Hayes' body cam." The courtroom listened in horror. Hayes: "Man, Daniels is going off. Think she's actually someone important?" Miller: "Nah, look at her. Just another welfare queen trying to scam the system." Their laughter as she was brutalized echoed like a curse. Naomi set the tablet down. "You asked for employment verification? Allow me." She pointed to the seal behind her bench, her nameplate, the oil painting in the lobby. "I have been the presiding judge of this courthouse for 23 years. Every warrant you've requested, every testimony you've given here. Officer Daniels. It was under my authority, Daniels whispered, trembling. Your Honor. I didn't know. You didn't know, Naomi repeated coldly, because you didn't care. You saw a black woman and assumed she was powerless. You abused the badge. To feed your bias, she leaned closer. But here's what you really didn't know. I've been working with the FBI's Civil Rights Division for 6 months investigating racial misconduct in this department. And today, Officer Daniels, you just gave us perfect evidence. Her gavel struck. The sound shook the chamber. Daniels collapsed into a chair, pale and trembling. When court resumed, the room was packed. Word had spread. Lawyers, clerks, reporters, and citizens filled the gallery, hungry to witness history. Daniels now sat in the defendant's chair, his uniform wrinkled, his hands trembling. A weary public defender sat beside him, already defeated. Naomi stood, tall, her robes flowing like armor. Before we proceed with charges, everyone here deserves to know exactly who Daniels assaulted this morning. She stepped forward, addressing the court. My name is Judge Naomi Carter. I was appointed in 2001, unanimously confirmed. I graduated with honors from Harvard Law, once served as a federal prosecutor specializing in police misconduct. For 23 years, I've presided over more than 15,000 cases. She turned to Daniels, her eyes burning. And in all those years, I've never seen a clearer example of everything broken in law enforcement. She lifted a file. Internal Affairs shows 47 complaints against you in 15 years. 47, each ruled unsubstantiated. The courtroom shifted uneasily. Complaint 1. 2009, Rosa Delgado, a grandmother, accused you of slamming her against a car hood during a traffic stop. Dismissed. Complaint 12, 2012. Jamal Washington, a 17-year-old, alleged you planted drugs in his backpack. Dismissed. Complaint 23. 2016. Dr. Michael Johnson, a cardiologist, arrested outside his own home. Dismissed. Daniels stammered. I don't... Unsubstantiated, Naomi cut in. Every time. The same language. The same lies. The same pattern. She unveiled a chart. Over your career, 87% of your arrests involved people of color. Despite your patrol area being less than half minority, you used force 63% of the time with them, compared to only 12% with white suspects. And nearly 40% of those cases were dismissed. The courtroom gasped. You know what we call that, Officer Daniels? A pattern of criminal behavior. She read aloud his oath to defend the Constitution, then set it down. Faithfully and impartially, Officer Daniels, not selectively, not based on race. Naomi's voice rose. This isn't just about one rogue cop. It's about a system that shields men like you. Until today. Because today, you picked the wrong victim. Daniels buried, his head in his hands. You told me this morning to know my place, Naomi said, raising her gavel. Here it is. My place is ensuring your 15 years of abuse end today. My place is putting you where you belong, on trial. Her gavel cracked down. What followed was the most unforgettable verdict in courthouse history. Naomi's voice rang out. Officer Daniels, based on the evidence, your own footage, your own words, your own lies, I find you guilty of felony assault, guilty of assaulting a judicial officer, guilty of civil rights violations, and guilty of perjury. Daniels broke down, sobbing. I'm sorry. I never meant... Naomi's stare was unflinching. Your apology is 15 years too late. Every grandmother, every teenager, every doctor you brutalized deserved this justice long before today, the gavel thundered. You are hereby sentenced to 25 years in federal prison without parole, and a federal investigation into every case you touched begins now. The courtroom erupted in applause, echoing like a victory song. 6 months later, Daniels rotted in prison, a broken man. The investigation he triggered brought down 12 officers, 4 supervisors, and placed his entire department under federal oversight. Hundreds of tainted cases were reopened, dozens freed, millions paid in restitution. The courthouse itself was renamed the Carter Federal Courthouse. A plaque at the entrance read, "Here, justice finally found its voice," and Naomi's words became legend. "Never forget. Justice may be blind, but she sees all. Sometimes she wears robes, sometimes she carries a gavel, and when the time is right, justice hits back."